Hello guys, welcome to today's class. We'll be looking at defensive security intro today, and since I've done this class before, I'm going to reset the progress. Now we have defensive security intro. This room is going to introduce defensive security and related topics such as threat intelligence, SOC, DFIR, malware analysis, and SIEM. Now, introduction to defensive security. In the previous class, we learned about offensive security, which aims to identify and exploit system vulnerabilities to enhance security measures. This includes exploiting software bugs, leveraging insecure setups, and taking advantage of unenforced access control policies, among other strategies. Now, red teams and penetration testers specialize in these offensive techniques. In this room, we are going to examine its counterpart, which is the defensive security, it is concerned with two main tasks. 1. Preventing intrusions from occurring, and 2. Detecting intrusions when they occur and responding properly. Now, blue teams are actually part of the defensive security landscape, and some of the tasks that are related to defensive security include 1. User cybersecurity awareness, which involves training users about cybersecurity and help protect against attacks targeting their systems. 2. Documenting and managing assets. Here, we need to know the systems and devices we must manage and protect them adequately. 3. Updating and patching systems. This ensures that computers, servers, and network devices are correctly updated and patched against any known vulnerabilities. 4. Setting up preventative security devices. Firewall and intrusion prevention systems are critical components of preventative security. Firewalls control what network traffic can go inside and what can leave the system or network, while the IPS blocks any traffic that matches present rules and attack signatures. Setting up logging and monitoring devices. This involves proper network logging and monitoring, which are essential for detecting malicious activities and intrusions. If a new unauthorized device appears on our network, we should be able to detect it. Now, there is so much more to defensive security. Aside from the above, we'll cover related topics such as Security Operations Center, also known as SOC, threat intelligence, digital forensics and incident response, as well as malware analysis. It's okay if these things don't sound familiar yet. With time, we are going to get used to these terms. Now, we have a question to answer. Which team focuses on defensive security? That's the blue team. We're going to type blue team here and submit. Great. Now, the task 2, areas of defensive security. In this task, we are going to cover two main topics related to defensive security. 1. The Security Operations Center, where we cover threat intelligence. And 2. Digital forensics and incident response, DFIR, where we'll also cover malware analysis. What is SOC, Security Operations Center? A Security Operations Center is actually a team of cybersecurity professionals that monitors the network and its systems to detect malicious cybersecurity events. Some of the main areas of interest for a Security Operations Center are 1. Vulnerabilities, 2. Policy violations, 3. Unauthorized activity, and 4. Network intrusions. Now, what are vulnerabilities? Whenever a system vulnerability is discovered, vulnerabilities are actually flaws. They're what you can call bugs. So they are basically flaws or weaknesses. So whenever a system vulnerability is discovered, it is essential to fix it by installing a proper update or patch. And when a fix is unavailable, the necessary measures should be taken to prevent an attacker from exploiting it. Although remediating vulnerabilities is vital to a SOC, it is not necessarily assigned to them. Policy violations. A security policy is a set of rules required to protect the network and systems. For example, it might be a policy violation if users upload confidential company data to an online storage service. 3. Unauthorized activity. We consider the case where a user's login name and password are stolen, and the attacker uses them to log into the network. A SOC must detect and block such an event as soon as possible before further damage is done. 4. Network intrusions. No matter how good your security is, there is always a chance for an intrusion. An intrusion can occur when a user clicks on a malicious link or when an attacker exploits a public server. Either way, when an intrusion occurs, we must detect it as soon as possible to prevent further damage. Security operations cover various tasks to ensure protection, and one of such tasks is threat intelligence. Threat intelligence in this context refers to the information you gather about actual and potential enemies. A threat is any action that can disrupt or adversely affect a system. Like when you say something is a threat to your life, exactly, something is a threat to that system. Threat intelligence collects information to help the company better prepare against potential adversaries. Adversaries are just malicious people that have evil intents towards the organization. So the purpose will be to achieve a threat-informed defense. You need to know about the adversaries to be able to protect against them, right? Now, different companies have different adversaries. Some adversaries might seek to steal customer data from a mobile operator. However, other adversaries are interested in halting the production in a petroleum refinery. Now, examples of adversaries include a nation-state cyber army working for political reasons and a ransomware group acting for financial purposes. So based on the company that is the target, we can expect adversaries for different intentions. Now, intelligence needs data, so data has to be collected, processed, and analyzed. Data is collected from local sources such as the network logs and public sources such as forums. Data processing arranges it into a format suitable for analysis, and the analysis phase seeks to find more information about the attackers and their motives. Moreover, it also aims to create a list of recommendations and actionable steps. Now, learning about your adversaries lets you know their tactics, techniques, and procedures known as TTP. So, as a result of threat intelligence, we identify the threat actor, that is the adversary, and predict their activity. Consequently, we can mitigate their attacks and prepare a response strategy. What this means is that if you can find information about your enemy, you get to make steps or strategies against them. If you know, okay, let's assume you are in a room and you realize that you are using just a thin frame as your burglary, which can easily be broken or cut with plier. You know that's what they do. They cut it and come inside. So next thing you do is you get steel bars that are actually very strong that can be damaged with pliers. That's just a brief summary of what intelligence is all about. Now, digital forensics and incident response. We will cover digital forensics, incident response, and malware analysis. Now, what is digital forensics? Forensics is the application of science to investigate crimes and establish facts. With the use and spread of digital systems such as computers and smartphones, a new branch of forensics was born to investigate related crimes such as computer forensics, which later evolved into digital forensics. In defensive security, the focus of digital forensics shifts to analyzing evidence of an attack and its perpetrators, and other areas such as intellectual property theft, cyber espionage, and possession of unauthorized consent. Consequently, digital forensics will focus on different areas such as file system, system memory, system logs, and network logs. The file system is used in analyzing a digital forensics image of a system storage. Now, in the analyzation of this, we get to review much information such as installed programs, created files, and partially overwritten files. Also, we can investigate deleted files too. The system memory. If the attacker runs their malicious program in memory without saving it to the disk, Taking a forensic image of the system memory is best way to analyze its contents and learn about the attack. It's okay if these things feel strange now. With time, you are going to get familiar and used to them. System logs. Each client and server computer maintains different log files about what is happening. Log files provide plenty of information about what happened on a system. Even if the attacker tries to clear their traces, some traces will remain. Network logs. Logs of the network packets that has traversed the network would help answer more questions about whether an attack is occurring and what it entails. Incident response. An incident usually refers to a data breach or cyber attack. However, in some cases, it can be something less critical, such as misconfiguration, an intrusion attempt, or a policy violation. Examples of a cyber attack include an attacker making our network or systems inaccessible, defacing the public website, and data breach, that is stealing company data. Now, how would you respond to a cyber attack? Incident response will now specify the methodology that should be followed to answer such a case, to handle such a case rather. Now, the aim is to reduce damage and recover in the shortest time possible. Ideally, you will develop a plan that is ready for incident response. So, if we were to have a thief come into the house now, because we've been experiencing such, right? What would we do? What is our next step of action? If I were to be the only one around, if we're all to be around, what would we do? That's just what like incident response try to address. Now, there are 4 major phases of the incident response, and the processes are preparation, detection and analysis, containment, eradication and recovery, and lastly, post-incident activity. Preparation requires a team that is trained and ready to handle incidents, and ideally, various measures are put in place to prevent incidents from happening in the first place. The first thing you do is try to prevent such. Now that it has happened, we need to make sure we have a team ready to respond once it happens. Detection and analysis. The team has the necessary resources to detect any incident. Moreover, it is essential to analyze any detected incidents further to learn about its severity. Containment, eradication, and recovery. Once an incident is detected, it is crucial to stop it from affecting other systems, eliminate it, and recover the affected systems. That's where we got the containment, eradication, and recovery from. For instance, when we notice that a system is infected with a computer virus, we would like to stop the virus from spreading to other systems. We clean the virus and we ensure proper system recovery. Lastly, post-incident activity. After a successful recovery, a report is produced and the lesson learned is shared to prevent similar future incidents. Now we move on to malware analysis. Malware stands for malicious software, and software refers to programs, documents, and files that you can save on a disk or send over the network. Malware includes many types such as a virus, Trojan horse, ransomware, worms, and all sorts. A virus is a piece of code or part of a program that attaches itself to a program. It is designed to spread from one computer to another and works by altering, overwriting, and deleting files once it affects a computer. The result ranges from the computer becoming slow to unstable. What is a Trojan horse? This is a program that shows one desirable function but hides a malicious function underneath. For example, a victim might download a video player from a shady website that gives the attacker complete control over their system. It just looks like a regular video player, but beneath it, there is a malicious function going on. Lastly, what is a ransomware? A ransomware is a malicious program that encrypts the user's files. Encryption makes the files unreadable without knowing the encryption password. The attacker offers the user the encryption password if the user is willing to pay a ransom. Now, malware analysis aims to learn about such malicious programs using various means, such as static analysis and dynamic analysis. Static analysis works by inspecting the malicious program without running it. This usually requires solid knowledge of assembly language, that is, the process instruction set. Dynamic analysis. This works by running the malware in a controlled environment and monitoring its activities. It lets you observe how the malware behaves when running. So we have questions to answer. What would you call a team of cybersecurity professionals that monitors a network and its system for malicious events? We call them, the team is called Security Operations Center. What does DFIR stand for? Digital Forensic and Incident Response. Which kind of malware requires the user to pay money to regain access to their files? Ransomware. Now we have a practical example of defensive security. So let us pretend you are a Security Operations Center analyst, SOC analyst, responsible for protecting a bank, right? This bank's SOC uses a security information and event management SIEM tool, which gathers security-related information and events from various sources and presents them in one dashboard. If the SIEM finds something suspicious, an alert will be generated. This is just like a very simplified way to put it. It's always more than this, really. Now, not all alerts are malicious. However, it is up to the analyst to use their expertise in cybersecurity to investigate which ones are harmful. For example, you may encounter an alert where a user has failed multiple login attempts. Why suspicious? This kind of thing actually happens, especially if the user has forgotten their password and continues to try to log in. Additionally, there might be alerts related to connections from an unknown IP address. Now, an IP address is like a home address for your computer on the internet. It tells other computers where to send the information you request. When these addresses are unknown, it could mean that someone new is trying to connect or someone is attempting unauthorized access. In this exercise, we are going to be simulating how a security information and event management works. We are going to click this view site and we have a static site that is open for us. What are we expected to do? So you are supposed to follow the step-by-step instructions provided within the simulation to navigate through the events and locate the flag. A flag is a series of characters with a format like this. This triacme THM, curly brackets, the words, then close curly brackets. Now, because we've discussed DFIR, threat intelligence, and SOC plus malware analysis, we get to experience firsthand how to deal with such alerts. So here we have it. The instruction given, okay, this is in a day in the life of a junior associate security analyst. We are going to inspect the alert in this dashboard and find the malicious IP addresses. We make a note of it and then click on the alert to proceed. So now we look at this. Successful authentication is green. We're having a red alert here. There's an unauthorized connection attempt from this IP address 143.110.250.149 to port 22. Great. So we have green alerts, green alerts, green alerts. You can see that user John Doe had multiple failed attempts before, then he finally had a successful login attempt. So next we click on it. So there are websites on the internet that allows you to check the reputation of an IP address to see whether it is malicious or suspicious. So we are going to enter our IP address here, 143.110.250.149. Sorry. We are going to submit the IP address and we can see that the IP scanner told us that it's a very malicious IP address, 100%. So we have other open sources database that we can use, like the Abuse IPDT and the Cisco Talos Intelligence, where you can perform a reputation check for the IP addresses. So most security analysts actually use these tools. Now that we know that the IP address is malicious, we need to escalate it to a staff member. So we shouldn't worry too much if it was a failed authentication attempt. But you can see that it was a successful authentication attempt from the malicious IP. So we are going to declare a small incident event and we escalate it. So do we escalate it to the sales executive, the security consultant, the information security architect, or the SOC team lead? We are going to actually escalate it to Will Griffin, the SOC team lead. So from that, we got the permission to block the IP address, and we can now proceed to implement the block rule. So we have the IP address. We are going to write it here again: 143.110.250.149, and we click on block IP address. Here we have our flag. You can just copy this and we paste it here and we submit. So now we've come to the end of defensive security intro. You can leave a feedback if you want. What do you like about the room? The interactive, static sites. If there's anything you like, you can put it there. What don't you like about the room? Nothing. And if you have any suggestions, you can just put it there. Then we send our feedback and we move to the next room. You can post your progress on LinkedIn, Twitter, or Facebook. I'm not going to do that. Then click on next. Then we can move to the next room. Go to the next room. Thank you for watching. If you would like just the audio content, you can find it on my Spotify channel called Audio Try Acme. That's just basically for the audio. You don't need to watch it. Bye.